Let me ask you a question. Why do the wealthy employ butlers and house managers? The answer to that question is actually extremely simple. It's to make their life better. So if you were to run your home like you had a house manager or a butler, the upshoot of that would make your life better. But how does one actually do that? How does one run their home like they are a house manager? Well, the first thing is to rethink how you think of your home. If you thought of your home the way you think of your business, or if you're not a business owner, your job, then it would very much change the perspective of how you think of things. Now, of course, that is exactly how a house manager or butler would think of the property that they're looking after. When they get to that property, they are not there to relax. It's exactly the opposite. They arrive at the property they run purely to work. They arrive to that property with the idea of making it as efficient and smoothly run as is humanly possible. So the first thing you really need to ask yourself is, do you even want to run your property like you're a house manager? Or are you just interested in having your property as a relaxing space that you don't think of in that way? There's no, of course, right or wrong answer to that question, but it's definitely a question worth asking. If the answer is yes, I do, then here's some tips as to how a house manager runs a property. First thing you want to do is write down everything that happens in your property over a 1 month period. Then look for ways of increasing efficiency. Are there tasks that are done more than once, that are only required to be done once? Are there tasks that should have been done and weren't? We can then use that list to try and forecast for the month ahead. Then, of course, what we do is we write down everything that happened in that second month and see how closely that followed our forecast from the month before. Next thing we want to do is you want to cut down wastage. When you're running your house like a house manager would, you are looking for things where time, money, and any other form of waste that you can then cut back to make the place more efficient. A lot of people think that just because house managers work for extremely rich people, that they're there just to spend money willy-nilly. But if there's one thing I can tell you about extremely rich people, is they did not become extremely rich by accident. They did not become extremely rich because they threw away their money. Now, a lot of their actions get to the headlines because they'll spend £10 million on a unique classic car or something like that, and you're thinking, wow, these people just throw their money around. But no, they use their money how they want to use their money. And if they buy a very special purchase that costs millions of pounds, that's because they wanted to spend that money on that purchase. They will not, however, ever be happy with money being wasted on things that could be bought or reused in a more frugal manner. Now, of course, this is very much something that everyone could gain from when they're running their home. So your second task is to write a long list of all your household expenditures. Write every single one of them down and categorize them into essential, wants, and unnecessary. If it's something that comes into unnecessary, then obviously straight away we want to remove that. Wants, there's nothing wrong with wants, but ask yourself if it's something that you do genuinely want and it's worth the money. Is the juice worth the squeeze? Essentials, well, they're essential, but it doesn't mean that we have to go with the first quote. You know, electricity is these days an essential thing. But that does not mean there's only one electrical supplier, and it doesn't mean you can't shop around to get the best price. Your third task as a house manager is to create a maintenance and repairs schedule. Properties need constant maintenance, even if that maintenance would come under the bracket of preventative maintenance. Items which require servicing, cleaning, or general repair. Write down all of these things that need to be done in the house, whether it's rooms that need to be repainted, whether it's roofs that need to be refelted, tiles which need to be fixed, windows that need to be replaced, carpets which need to be cleaned, whatever it is, write them all down in, again, you're getting the theme, I'm sure by now, a great big list, and categorize them. So now what we have is we have our three lists. We have our what goes on in a month. We have our costs and expenditures, and we have our maintenance and repairs list. Now what we want to do is put these three things together into one document. This will allow us to plan for purchases, plan for maintenance, and better control our schedule. Doing this will remove any wasted time, remove any wasted money, and allow us to more efficiently run our property. If we have any other staff working the property, cleaners, drivers, things like that, again, we would closely look at the hours that they keep. We would closely look at what they achieve in that time and see if improvements could be made. Once you've done all of these things, then you are in the perfect position to start running your house like you're a house manager. But a word of warning, there's a reason people employ house managers. And that reason is doing this is a lot of work. It will take a lot of time. Is it worth it? Well, that really is a question that only you can answer. If those sound like things that you would like to do, maybe they're even things that you would like to do for someone else, then maybe a career as a house manager or butler is for you. If you're looking for someone to help you with that, maybe you're looking to do a training course, I would be, of course, be delighted to help you with that. My next butler school is in September. It starts on the first week of September and it runs for 4 weeks. And within that, I teach all of the skills for both butlering and house management. If you're not quite at the situation where you'd like to take the plunge into doing a course, of course I have all of these free videos here on YouTube and extra videos that are longer live sessions which are available to my members.
But please do subscribe, and I look forward to seeing another video very soon. Bye bye.